both of y'all doing today?
Good.
Good, Sharon. How you doing?
I'm doing good. We got so much to talk about because y'all took me through it this season. We got a lot to unpack. So, Cole, I want to start with you because I'm not going to lie. I got to apologize to you because I did judge you in the beginning. I was like, I don't know how I feel about Cole. But I have to say, as I got to learn more about you, I really did appreciate your time on the show. But the main thing that I wanted to know is going into decision day and seeing how everything unfolded. Do you feel like you weren't really given a fair shake? Because it kind of felt like all these things were pent up and never actually told to you to try to make a change, to try to work together to make this happen.
Absolutely. And that's what broke me so much at the wedding is I'm like, if all this was going on, why did she never tell me? Why did I feel like I was the only one who didn't know all these things and everyone else was clapping and cheering because I had done all these things wrong? Because she had told me the night before that she was 1,000% ready to marry me. And so, I mean, I went into it thinking this girl's going to say yes to me. And when I got not just a no, but a no with a list of all the things, it was like, it was heartbreaking. It was absolutely like shocking. And I was like trying not to fall over backwards. I was just like, this isn't happening. Like, I didn't know who she was. I was like, who is the person standing in front of me is what it felt like in the moment. Since we've fleshed the things out and, we're healing that and working through that. But yeah, in the moment I was shocked.
Are you two back together or trying to work things out or?
Not back together, but we care about each other. You know what I mean? We're not trying to fall in love again, but you can't replace what we did together. You know what I mean? Like it was so deep and so real and such fast love and intense love that we don't want to hold any bitterness or anything like that against each other. So we're talking a lot now and we just care about each other.
So going back and actually I don't know, have you both seen it yet? Seen the show?
I've seen it one time. Yeah.
Okay. So have actually been able to see kind of some of the remarks that you made towards her that she said kind of affected her self-confidence. Do you kind of see where she was coming from? I'm not saying I fully agree, but do you kind of see how that could kind of affect her emotionally?
I do see. And I think you have to be sensitive to who you're talking to. And I think I wasn't as sensitive as I needed to be at times when I was saying things, just talking a little too freely and things were coming across and hurting her. And so I've got to improve on that. And it's not, sometimes you're like, oh, I didn't intend to say that, but that's what is coming across. And it's like, you can have the best heart in the world, but if you're hurting people, you need to listen to how it's coming across. And so that's a big thing I've learned is like, although I wasn't intending to hurt her, I hurt her. And I've got to be more on the ball with that.
Okay. Self-reflection. I love to see it. But SK, I got some questions too, because I was kind of very shocked when we got to decision day. I was 50-50 on it. And I wanted to know, what was your headspace? Because you said no, but I don't know if I fully got a gist of why your answer was no. Why did you feel like it wasn't the right time to say yes?
Right. So for me, Raven and I's journey wasn't straightforward. Obviously, we had a lot of, differences and we were in a very complicated situation where we had to try to mesh two different backgrounds together. And the reason why I proposed to her was just, me hoping that once we get into the real world, we'll be able to, adjust and kind of make, try to work through or at least try to resolve all those differences. When we got back into the real world in Dallas, we didn't really get to do that successfully. Real life came at us, we went back to work, she went back to work. We just went straight up into our normal lives. And that kind of took a toll in us having enough time to kind of work through all those differences. The moment I got...
Was it the school? Her not supporting the move and not wanting to come with you? Because that...
So, it was a host, lot of few things. We had fundamental differences about the role family plays in a marriage. Her not being flexible about moving to California was also a big deal for me, as well as, some other things we had to talk through. Now, at the moment, when I thought about adding marriage on top of that, I feel like that was not going to solve those problems. It won't make it go away. And I just felt at the time it was not really the right time for me to do that.
Okay. Well, yeah, because the school thing kind of bugged me because you mentioned that in the pods that you were leaving to go to school. Okay, I don't want to make sure. Okay, I know the cameras change stuff sometimes. Look, I just thank you both for being so honest with me. I appreciate you. And I'm just sending nothing but love and light both your ways. I hope you have a great day.
Yes. Great talking to you. See you.
Bye. Great talking to you too. Wait, how are both of you doing today?
Hey.
Good. We're good.
Doing great.
Y'all cute though. Okay, y'all better play real quick.
This is for you.
Y'all better give it. Okay. He said, you know what? We finna be giving during these interviews, and I'm here for it.
She gives.
My bestie. Yes, nails.
Look, I was like, I could do something. I can't be snatched like y'all, but at least I can get some nails. But okay, first, Raven, I have so much to talk to the both of you about. But Raven, we gotta talk about this Jumper Jack story, because since I was waiting on you to get the rest of the story, what happened? Were you just not interested no more? You was over it?
So there's so much of the pods that you guys don't get to see. We're in there for hours. So of course, not all of that is going to make it into our episodes, right? Like I take ownership. It was a horrible timing, like definitely was disrespectful to Bartiz. So I'm sorry to that man. But sometimes you have to exercise, and that's clearly what him and I bonded over, like our only common ground. But it was just horrible timing for me. And now I'm just like being dragged, right? So they're dragging my name.
It's okay. Well, at least, you was about your fitness. I get it. I just wanted you to ask a couple more follow-up questions because the story was interesting.
Yeah, I know, right? I want to know where it goes. Like, because also your mom's business out there. So we need to know.
But I mean, also too, but I do want to know for the both of you going into these pods, because it's really interesting. I thought the whole conversation between you and Bartiz, like you was speaking a lot of truth in that. And I want to know for the both of you, after meeting everyone else you were dating, do you kind of feel like there's kind of a representative version you get in the pods?
I think in any kind of dating you're doing, you do put your best foot forward. I think we all did do that. So I'm sure we still, as much as it was blind dating, I do think we got the best of everybody in the pods, especially when you're in there for like, a 3.5 an hour date, or you're in there 1.5 and like 1 a.m. doing tricep kickbacks. You're still trying to give everything.
Yeah. So you have nothing else to focus on, right? You don't have a phone like you would on a date. You don't have music playing. You don't have other people. There's no distractions. You're so focused on the other person. So of course you're able to kind of, give your all. And sometimes when you take that and you put it in the real world with all these other distractions and you're seeing other people, things are going to go south.
Okay. I'm going to let it slide then. I'm going to let it slide. But I mean, for you and Cole, because I was very shocked. When I say you had my mouth on the ground during the whole wedding, on the ground, okay? I had to take a moment and collect myself. I did want to ask you though, because I felt all of the emotions that you felt kind of watching this process unfold, but I wanted to know why you waited until that day to say something versus actually checking Cole in the middle, like when he's actually doing it, because I felt like it wasn't connecting for him.
Right. So again, hours of footage, right? I didn't just say no to the Cole that the world saw. I said no to the Cole that I got all the time. I tried to have many conversations, realistic conversations with Cole with like, hey, the words you're saying, do this to me. This is how I feel. And it was always greeted with, hey, you're having a bad attitude. Can you just be sweet to me? Are you bipolar? So wedding day, I wanted to say yes. I wanted to be married so much, but I kind of had to look collectively at everything. And wedding day and up at that altar was the first time he had to actually listen to me. He couldn't shut me down for saying those things. He had to stand there and listen and hear them. But I also wanted there to be a very clear understanding of why it was a no. And hopefully he's a changed man because of it. And hopefully he'll go into his next healthy relationship a better man because of it. And that's really where I wanted to leave him.
But have you both had conversations with your partners after saying no? Like, have you tried to reconcile or try to work things out?
Absolutely no reconcile. Crickets on his end. I a lot on wedding day. So the ball is definitely in his court should he wish to, but we do not speak. No.
Oh, that's interesting because he said y'all spoke.
I don't know when that would be. So
there's a lot of things, girl.
That part.
We need more time to talk about this because we still got to unpack some stuff, okay? But look, I just want to thank you both for still looking so fabulous and being honest with me. I appreciate you, and I'm just sending nothing but love and light both your ways. I hope you have a great day.
Thank you. Right back at you. Thank you.
Bye. How are all of you doing today?
Hey.
Doing good. Look, I stayed up until 4 o'clock just to talk to y'all. Okay, that's how much I love this show.
Love
Appreciate
that.
that.
Love that.
One of the questions I have, Bertice, I'm gonna kick this one off to you because I know that I know sometimes editing doesn't include the full story of how things play out. So I wanted to ask you, I know that during the meeting of the families, there was a huge issue in regards to, raising children or some of those tough decisions that you might have to make. Was that ultimately kind of like that breaking point of when you kind of felt like this relationship might not be able to work?
I felt like that, throughout the process. It was a big roller coaster for me and Nancy along the way. That was definitely one of the points where I was like, whoa, I don't know if this is my forever person. I don't know if we could ultimately make this work, just because our families were so different, and kind of me and Nancy had some fundamental differences that I was realizing.
And then was your family like, were they kind of like, this is a deal breaker for them? Because it almost felt like that's what it was, but we didn't get to really see that full interaction.
I'm not going to say my family, it was a deal breaker for them. It was more of like are you sure you want to do this, Bartiz?
Okay. All right. And then Matt, for you, I really like that you were very vulnerable and honest about kind of how your past relationships kind of had you have trust issues with Colleen. And I wanted to know for you, like, how has that process been kind of working through having trust with Colleen? Has that gotten any better, or have you found other ways to kind of cope with the past relationships?
Yeah, and I think to that point, the past relationships do make it tough to do something like this. That being said, in order to make it work, I had to open up and had to be vulnerable and had to show her that side of me and really explain to her. That being said, though, going forward, I mean, we were fully transparent about everything. So the trust there, yes, we're 100% trustworthy of each other. And going through those certain situations where I did kind of blow up a couple of times, learning how we communicated through it and really how to kind of go forward from that really helped grow our relationship.
Okay, I love a couple working together. I'm here for it. But let's talk about these different family lifestyles, because, watching your story, you never think about how your different upbringings kind of change how their relationship happens when you two come together. So how has that experience been, kind of blending these families, having two totally different backgrounds and like upbringings in life? How's that been for you?
I guess people don't really realize Alexa's pretty country. She can get on a bull or two. So it's been great. It's been so much fun. Her family is so inviting. They're so nice. They look really tough in the episodes. They're like, oh, we're gonna grill them. They're so wonderful. They're nice, and our family dynamics have been great. My family has been over at her family's place for Shabbat dinner on Friday nights before, and the holidays are great. So it couldn't have worked out more perfectly for the both of us.
I want a family reunion special now. I just want to see. Yeah. But I mean, one of the things that, I almost turned this into a drinking game while watching the series, how many times you all mentioned the real world and how vastly different it is being in the pods versus when you actually integrate your normal life. So can you shed a little bit more light about how, you meet each other for the first time, you have this fun on this trip, but what is it about actually going back to your normal lives that changes everything?
So I'll kind of take that real quick. So, all of us went into this single, obviously, right? So you do have your certain schedule set kind of on a day-to-day basis. And then going back into the real world, like we all mentioned, it's now incorporating that person into that schedule and into that lifestyle and seeing if it really does mesh and if it really does work. So learning how to do that, how to just basically grow by involving them into your lifestyle is really the biggest thing, in my opinion.
I'll take the flip of that and like highlight the pods in Malibu and kind of show how that's a fairy tale. Like that's really that environment is geared towards falling in love. I mean, like Brennan specifically was in love on the third day, right? And that's when you knew. And so I mean it's a good atmosphere to be like, okay, I'm falling in love here. And so a fear of mine, I was like, when I realized we get back to this real world out of this fairy tale roses and flowers kind of environment we're in, what's going to happen?
Can your families mix?
Right.
Like can the cultures mix?
Right.
And you don't get that when you're on vacation and all the worries kind of go out the door. So
okay, thank you for giving me the down low on it. Okay, thank you. Look, I just want to thank all of you so much for taking time out of your day to speak with me. I'm sending nothing but love and light all your ways, and I hope you have a great day.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Bye, pair. Wait, hi, how are all of you doing today?
Hello, welcome to the pod squad.
I was there with y'all in spirit, okay? I was rooting for you in the behind the scenes, okay? Nancy, I just want to give you a hug because I was so upset. I'm still mad. I'm still low-key mad right now. I'm still mad. I wanted to know, like, with that day, like, were you shocked with what he said? And do you almost feel as though he used this whole family situation of his family not being on board with you as an excuse not to marry you? Because that's what it felt like.
That 2 weeks before our wedding day, I sat him down off camera and I told him I was going to say no. I had an honest conversation with him. I said, you're not the man that I fell in love with. You are not the person that I see myself with in the future. You're changing in the real world. And he asked me to give him a second chance. So you see a little bit of that some of that conversation in our living room. And 2 weeks before our wedding, that's exactly what he did. He turned things around. He was really giving me his all, physically, emotionally, everything I was asking for, he offered. So when I got up to the altar, the last 2 weeks, we had no conversation that he was still having doubts. I thought that we had already nipped everything in the bud. So I think he was just finding excuses to point the finger at me when he really should have been looking at himself, whatever insecurities he had, to figure out why he needs to say no, not because of me, but because of him.
Okay, because I was with your brother. I was heated. Okay, I was ready to throw down after this whole wedding. But I mean, Alexa, for you was kind of just chilling. You was like, look, I know everybody else got drama around me, but we just trying to be happy, y'all. So.
And it was incredible because then like I could really be there for other people. And so I think, everyone, not everyone, but, people were struggling, with different people and having conversations with other people. And so I feel like because, I found Brendan like super early on, I feel like it was wonderful because I could really be there for other people and like not just focus and, really help anyone who wanted to talk. And people also felt really comfortable telling me their person because they know I'm not talking to them. So they could, they could have kind of like a sounding board. And so like, that was really incredible.
She's the godmother of the lounge. Okay.
I'm like, what can I help you with?
She's the therapist.
What can I help you guys with? So
Alexa was like, I'm just here on vacation, just living my best life. I'm be there to help everybody else.
Yeah, but and I'm not everyone goes through their journey, and I think all of us had our happy ending no matter what it looked like. So I'm very, very blessed to be with these such incredible women and such strong women that next to me. We all have very different journeys, and all of us found our happy ending.
Oh, I love that. I still want to hang out with your family. Your family seem real cool.
Yeah. Come on over.
Okay, now I'm gonna come. Now, Colleen, I really love that you kind of had a very stern conversation with Matt, because I feel like I was going to come through the TV screen and be like, you got to stop treating my girl like this. So I wanted to know, like, how has that been discussing trust, healing from past relationships? Like, how has that kind of been since the cameras have come off?
Yeah, there was trust with his whole past relationship, but it was also, he would go 0 to 100 real quick. And so also with me, I needed to build some sort of backbone because I can be too nice. I can be a people pleaser. So it was challenging on both ends. So that was definitely a difficulty throughout the whole process of how do we communicate throughout conflict. But I'm glad that we went through any and all of the situations so that we knew what to work on and how to build this relationship even stronger. And we still work on it every single day, but we couldn't be happier because we found each other.
Okay, I love that. Okay, see, I thought I was gonna have to handle Matt for you. I'm glad he's still.
No, I got you.
But I mean, Nancy, have you talked to Bartiz? Like, did you have a discussion afterwards? Because it was so much commotion at the wedding after the decision.
No, I mean, for a while, I shut him out. I just couldn't, it's black and white for me, right? So it's like, you said no, okay, I'm out. Like, there's no turning back. So I think for me, it was really heartbreaking what I felt, how I felt blindsided, that it wasn't to any of my benefit to keep him in my life at that time.
Okay, I was just making sure. I was like, stay strong, girl, okay? Because I don't like all of that, what he did. But look, I just appreciate all of you. Alexa, the next family function, please let me know so I can come and hang out.
Great time.
Come on over.
I'm just saying. I just want to thank all of you for taking the time to speak with me. And I'm doing nothing but sending love and light all your ways. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Have a beautiful rest of your day.